Hi, Matt with eTrailer. Today we're going to be talking about Rock Tamers Recovery Rope. So let's check it out. So this is going to be perfect for anyone who's doing a lot of overlanding or you're just doing a lot of recovery work and you're pulling people behind you. It's going to be more suited for those average sized vehicles, anything like your Jeeps. Now this is going to be great because when it comes to handling them or just using them in general, they're going to be far easier to use than anything like chains, and they're just going to be safer on top of that. But we'd love to hear if you do decide to go with them, how they're working for you in either comment or review. So let's start off with how it's going to feel to actually handle and move around. Now moving this rope is going to be fairly lightweight. Now there is quite a bit of it, so a lot of it in your hands will feel a little bit heavy, but when you compare that to anything like chains, this is going to be night and day, and it's still going to be very sturdy the whole time when you are handling it. Even trying to open up this eyelet here, I feel a lot of resistance there. Now when it comes to actually hooking up, still fairly easy, and speaking of which, I'll show you how to do that when we are recovering the vehicle behind us. And to get everything hooked up and situated, we just want to make sure we do have our rope with us, one of the eye loops on this side, and we're going to have that secondary attachment strap. And hooking up to any type of hook on here is going to be fairly easy. You could push the knot side through. Again, that's going to be a little bit more difficult because that is larger. I just recommend going with the more eye loop side because it's going to be fairly thin and will fit through most things. Now, when I was first handling this, I couldn't get that hole through here, but all you have to do for this is just pull on the some, and that's going to widen that loop here so you can get that knot through. Pull it nice and snug. Just make sure when you are doing this, not have to do it quite yet because we still do want to put that rope through here. And then we can just do that on the other side and start pulling behind us. So when it came to actually pulling the Jeep behind us, again, we are not in any type of emergency situation. The ground's mostly flat. We do have a little bit of an incline at the beginning of it. The whole process felt pretty smooth actually. And that's going to be due to how this type of rope does kind of stretch. When you pull on it, of course, I won't be able to stretch it out because I'm not near strong enough to pull on this, but when you have the weight of a vehicle, it just makes that whole transition a lot smoother. And since we're talking about the rope some, let's dive into some of its specs. So this is going to be 30 feet in length, so that's quite a distance. So if your vehicle is a little bit further away from you, it's harder to get to it, this is going to be a good distance for you. Now that distance in between the two vehicles, you might encounter a lot of objects in your way, especially on the rougher terrains like rocks. And the way this is designed is if it does make contact with those rocks, especially if you have a harder or rougher edge, a lot of ropes might start to fray. The way this is designed though is to make that less likely of happening so it lasts longer and is less likely of getting damaged. And earlier I said this rope is going to be able to handle some heavier or moderate sized vehicles, and this is exactly designed for a working load limit of 6,333 pounds. Its brake limit is going to be 19,000 pounds, so it can hold some decent vehicles behind it. Again, those Jeeps are probably going to be the perfect weight for this. So that's important to check what your shackles and if you are pulling from your hitch and the vehicle itself and see what those are rated and make sure you don't exceed that or you might damage something. And when it comes to kind of helping this last longer when you are pulling those heavier loads behind you, we are going to have this coating or this material on all our connection points. So on these straps themselves too that connect to your vehicle or those loops, and on the rope itself, these are going to make sure that when they are rubbing against each other, it's not going to rub or fade over time. Now something that is unique about the rope section itself is it is going to have this hook and loop that you can fully remove if this is getting in your way. In my opinion, I think this is going to be a pretty solid choice. I really do like that it does come with a bag. It just makes it a little bit easier to pack everything up. I will say with trying to pack it up in the bag, it can be a little bit tricky because as you can see right here, the knot or the loops that I made were just slightly too big with the bag, so it might take a little bit more planning when you are packing everything up. But other than that, there's not too much else to it. I think this is just going to be a much better alternative than, let's say, if you're using any chains because one, they're going to take up less space. It's just going to be more lightweight and they're going to be safer at the end of the day. But if you guys have any other questions, please let us know here at eTrailer. And again, I'm Matt, and thanks for watching.